The clock is 22:58 in the afternoon, 2 minutes in 11. Thursday, the 18th September 2018. And we are live. Hello out there. Big question. Who is it that is fucked? Everybody will maybe point at me and say, it's me that's fucked up. I wish it was. Then everything would be and seems so easy. But I'm sad because it's not the case. It's actually much worse. Yeah, how can it be worse? Yeah, but it can be a lot worse because if it's not me, then it means it must be the society that I'm living in. And see, if that is the case, then we have a problem. And that is the problem. We have to discover where it really is from. Who is pulling the strings? That's our assignment. Who is pulling the strings? See, I have sit all in one of the world's superpower in the world. I have sit all inside with all the informations and been a part of actually controlling a country. Something that's this day today denied, but it is actually a fact. And it is a fact based on some knowledge that they will not recognize. And I don't have to tell what country it is because I'm not sitting there right now. And even me is a little bit confused over this messed up worldwide government controlled everywhere. Because when something seems clear and easy, it's actually not as clear as they say and as easy as they tell. But it's much more messed up in this day we're living in today. And that is because it's based on some facts about the truth. And the truth, of course, is always hurting if you try to hide it away. Like our past. So, we are living up in a messed up world, and everybody can become a victim of it because of this information time we are living in. Information is being put in everybody's hand, and when they put the information in your hand, you're no longer free. And see, that is where I think parents should be a little bit concerned over when they give their children a device like that. But now it's like this, and an army force have been forced over your family without you know it, without you want it, and so on and so on. That's just how it is. Because now there's some facts, some secrets, and even you can be a part of that. And it's coming much closer, the war on the doorstep, when you invite all the strangers in through the device that you have bought, with a lot of open doors to the world. That actually means that you can become a product of a vampire military system that's sucking on your ass if they want to. That's actually the world we are living in today. So be aware, I tell you, be aware out there. But let's go back. Yeah, because we can keep on and keep on, and suddenly we are in a subject totally different than where we started, because that is just the case about this. When you start one place, you are suddenly in a whole other place if you keep on talking about it, because the doors will keep on open, and suddenly you are in the top of something, and that's maybe where you definitely maybe should not be if you want your liberty, freedom. So let's go back to the point where I started. Like I have right, it's fucked up. But what is it that's fucked up? In my case, they've shut my life down. So who is it that's really pulling that string of shutting my life down and disconnecting my device so I cannot really communicate with other people, ending up being very strange and having a strained relationship to other people? And not only that, then you have a mental shit system here in this society that's just making everything much worse, just because you don't like the people who's living next door. So we have somebody who's closing down for your device and your accounts. Who is that? Where is it coming from? What sides is there inside this war that we are in? See, today I know what it's all about. Everything. I know everything about it. I know I can tell everybody what it's all about. And if you think we are living in a world, even inside our country, in a world where corruption is not seen, then you are taking very wrong. Sorry, my friend. But that's just the case in the world that you're living in, even in our lovely, lovely country. But it's not lovely anymore because you have voted something in you did not really know what was. So you did not know what you was voting in to take control our over our country. That means that the police is in cooperation with something outside Denmark because of the device that you're holding in your hand. And about this is Euro and their Europol. That's the question we can ask. And then we can ask about the inside that have their own agenda on some religious aspect about people's lives because of some untold truth about maybe a past and a present and a future we are living in today. So everything is messed up. It's chaos. But we don't really care about all the strings and how fucked up everything is. No, We care about our lives here and now, and we care about our freedom and our rights to have that freedom to live our lives just like we want. But because of this religion, this sick religion, that we have some very sad people who is actually controlling our lives here in Denmark. And where I live here, we have some old assholes. And I heard something about they was actually talking about Deutschland, but if I shall take Deutschland, Deutschland really don't exist, and they have really not exist after the Second War because of the world society have kept them down because they don't want the World War to repeat itself after the Second War. So we have a lot of other countries who is actually have some rule forced in over Deutschland. And I'm not living in Deutschland, I'm living in Denmark. But they have actually go further than that all the way up to Denmark. And then I think Danish people should be a little bit concerned. Now you all have been told some bullshit you don't know about out there. You don't know shit about nothing. And think I have proved myself that you actually don't know shit. So if you should know something, you should definitely hear it from my mouth. But nobody is asking. Because people like to be ignorant and go through life being ignorant and just accepting all the bullshit they're introducing for us because they're full of lies and you are believing in it. And that is the truth. They are full of lies because they know the truth and they know our past. And they want to deny you the truth and your rights to the truth and the past. And that's our case today. They are denying your rights to something that they're actually telling you that you have right to know about. That's a little bit amusing, don't you think? That's why they build up fancy museum and telling a little bit story about what they're introducing for people inside those places. Let's not hope it's fake. What should we then do if it was? So let's just count on that it's old things we are looking at when we go on those places. Not some fiction. Fiction, yeah. But if you realize that everything you maybe know about our story and the story and our past, if you actually find out that everything you have been told, that they have kept aside of everything away, that means that there is something in our history, in our past, that they actually don't tell us about. Because some see it as a mistake, that the past was a mistake, even if the past was as great as we are maybe today, maybe greater. See, if that is the case, maybe some of the things inside of us this day to day have been passed on from a very advanced population in the past. Our untold truth about our history and ourselves because they maybe don't want the past to be repeated, even if even if there's a treasure great treasure that they don't want to tell you about, even if it's inside of you. So, what is a society actually doing if they don't want to tell them about the past and our present and who we are and what their goal is? What are they then doing actually to prevent people to step into the past and demanding their freedom to all the goals that is lying right there that they maybe are in possessed of, and they know about it and you don't know about it because you have never been told about it. So what are they actually doing to keep you away from a truth and yourself and maybe your next generation? What are they doing? See, since the time of the morning, manipulation have always been a great war of tools. That is actually one of the number one, that is manipulation. If you have a success with manipulate something in to go in a specified road, you have a success to maybe reach your goal, even if it's not what you're telling to reach your own goal. So manipulation is definitely what they have appeared ever since intelligence have exist. It is the tool that we are even using this day today when we are eating our groceries or we are breathing our animals, whatsoever about it's a pet or whatever. Manipulation, even about the intellect in our mind and how we are perceiving the world. Manipulation. Manipulation, you can put that up on the highest if you shall look into some bullshit. Can you find the manipulation tool? Maybe you can look through it and find your way through it to the truth. So maybe I'm actually manipulating you right now. Who knows? So who is pulling the strings? Who is pulling the strings? Who is putting a mental hospital up, built up on lies? Who is sitting and taking some people's rights, freedom rights, away from them in whole their life? What is the case? Who is forcing this force over our population on some lies and untold truth and manipulate with our system so they can get away with what they want to get away with? Who are pulling the strings? Can you tell me who is pulling the strings? Who is it who don't want our population to be gifted and much more different? Who is it that don't want the truth out in our ears, making some people more supreme over other people in some certain ways? Okay, maybe it was all the victims under the Second War. Maybe. It could have been. There was something about that they actually go into war about the Aryan race that they believed was more supreme and overhuman. I think there was something about that. Their study. Their study to find even where they actually came from and what the source of the Deutsch people were from, where they was from. And it's funny, later on, you have always hear this about when they're talking about Deutsch people that they was like cyborgs, you know. I don't know about you, have heard that out there too. So maybe there was something inside of them from our past that was making them different, more supreme. Something that maybe some societies in our present today, maybe they are jealous on them, maybe they fear them, maybe they don't want our past to be repeated because they will become the victims. That's maybe why they will not recognize the truth, what maybe some wars was based on. And see, then there's coming a lot of questions up, you know, a lot of questions from people out there. What are you? Who are you? Who is your enemy? Do you have enemies? Is there somebody who wanna own your ass? Are you being hunted for some untold truth? Are you a blind victim walking around in darkness? You understand, there are some cases that's actually pointing in that direction. And maybe you out there does not really understand nothing about this because they've never told you about it. And you definitely believe we are apes. And who knows, maybe we are apes. But what does that really mean? Apes. Is that really a race? Or is it something left over from some earlier experiments? So maybe we have nothing in common with apes in that, if you shall look at it like that. That we have not like evolved from the apes, but the apes actually just have something that we have inside too. So we are kind of related, but it's not because we come from the ape. No, that's an experiment that's somehow being left over to evolve what we have become maybe today. So maybe we was in the earlier past something totally different, and then it's not us, then it's that. And what is that then? See, now we're opening doors, you understand? And now our conversation is going in a whole other place very fast, just for opening one door. And that's actually our case today. So there's many doors, and just for open one of them will definitely make you, some people want you to shut up. But we have a free speech in Denmark, doesn't we? Ah, okay. So they put it up like we have a free speech, but you're not allowed to speak about everything. If it is about cars and the engineering of a car and the construction and so on, maybe that's not really hurting nobody, because maybe it's something we are going to produce in our present to our future, so it's acceptable what you're talking about. But when you begin to open the doors that's leading back to a past, all the way to our present, then see, then you're certainly not allowed to have a free speech anymore. So how does we try to close your ass before you're making other people aware over what you actually are talking about? Because a society, a free society, have always solutions on everything. Everything. You know, for closing your mouth, they cannot just do that. They have to have a reason. They have to have a reason. And that's where you shall pay attention, because that is where you actually realize what kind of society you actually are living in. And the society can actually become your enemy. So now I will welcome you out there for hearing what I have to say, because I'm just creating more enemies to the system who actually just want me to shut up. So now you can think over what I am thinking over and what I'm actually talking about. So I will welcome you to sit next to me, and then we can talk a little bit. But maybe you will not sit next to me and talk with me when they actually try to find a reason to keep my mouth closed. And you know, that reason, they have to interfering with me before they actually can realize a reason, a reason that will be based on lies. And you understand why it will be based on lies, because it's not me. It's not me that's doing something wrong. I'm not breaking nothing. I'm just making people aware and putting the question up, questions about everything, questions they don't want you to ask, questions you will doubt on what they're telling you, and you will put questions up, because you understand we will break their story, we will break it, and they cannot really prove that they have right. That's what you shall realize, that that's the case. They cannot prove it. They can say maybe it was like that, but they cannot prove it. If they should prove something for us, they should go back in time and show us. They cannot do that. So they cannot really prove, they cannot prove nothing about our past. But they can tell us that something is very looking like that this, and our reason that we are based our theories is because that it's looking like this, and you can see the results of that. So something is indicated definitely because of the results. But still, again, you know how much their results always have lie. And even the results today, they're based on a time. They have to prove that their results, that's based on that time, that they have actually to have a result all back from that time to this day today to say that this is the case. No, only from the experiments and the theory about the experiments, and that's why they have their reasons that the time they're putting on it is because of this and that and so on, you know. So we are breaking theories here, theories that they have created to hide our past and hide something for us in our present. So that's where we are today. That's their reason why they want to isolate people and want to take their rights away, and why they want to interfere in our love life, and so on and so on and so on. It's all because of our past. Yeah, then you can ask questions to those who will not let the past stay in the past. No, because they are aware of the past, so they will not let the past stay in the past and keeping on using the past as the reason to interfering in our lives this day today. So you see, their lies are more fucked up than our reasons to live our lives like we want to. Because they're using the past, a past they don't want to tell everybody about. So they have their problems, you understand? They have their problems, definitely, with an excuse about they know everything and things is dangerous. If people don't is being told about it. No, fuck them, okay? I say fuck them, and fuck their reason to put us and lock us away and take our freedom away from us. Fuck them and fuck that society. Fuck the law that's taking the law and actually pulling out lies and forcing our freedom away from us on lies. Lies created from some people who's working for the society because we have voted in. Not only that, you begin to realize too that some countries have more in common to the past than maybe the countries that we are living in. And then you realize too that that one they definitely don't want you to know about too. Because maybe suddenly you are one of them, but living inside here. And if you are one of them and living here, they don't want you to be one of them and live here. You understand? So they want to make you like everybody else that's living here. Because again, one of the untold truth and blah, 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 blah. You understand? Do you understand? No, you don't. You are so stupid and you still don't know what it all is going about because you have not put your mind into it. You have not put the questions up to what you put your mind in. So you are like a pup that's going to school and take your education and you believe on everything they are feeding you with. You are not putting the questions up to what you're getting your education on. You understand, just because you have a piece of paper, it does not make you clever. Sorry. The paper is only indicate that you have passed what you should read to get the number on this piece of paper. It does not really mean that you can think freely on actually what you have gone through in school. Because there's actually a big difference of knowing things and thinking on it. You understand what I mean? You realize that when you are coming on into work and you have to put your mind and use everything you have learned in school, and you have to rebuild that knowledge into the work that you're actually working with. Some of it you can maybe use a lot. If it's something about our rules and our system, yeah, then you can use it a lot. But if it's something you shall work with in your hands, maybe it's not always everything you can really use in the society when you go out and begin to work with it. Again, many of the rules is there because there have been accidents and so on and so on. So everything is keeping on evolving. So, and that's actually what you learn in the school. That's all the past we have gone through. So we are not repeating the mistakes. So the paper is just indicating that you have knowledge about the past that you can use in our present. It does not really mean that you have a passion for the paper you actually have today. But of course, some proudness will there always be when society demands something from us and you are getting success with passing. So, of course, some kind of proudness will there come. And when somebody comes without a piece of paper telling you that you are wrong and everything you've learned in school is a part of being manipulated, just so you can be a pup in our system, of course, nobody want their proudness be pulled away like a jacket that's being taken off that you actually have done so much effort to take on. Nobody want their jacket be taken off, and definitely not from somebody who don't have that piece of paper. But actually, they have their freedom to get the knowledge that you have received in the school, get that knowledge from books and in the same way that when you're going into school. So just because somebody don't have the piece of paper, it doesn't mean that they're stupid and don't know what they're talking about. You understand what I mean? Do you understand what I mean? So sometimes be a little bit aware over that jacket you actually are wearing when you have that piece of paper. You should be proud over that you did go through it. Yes, be proud of that. Don't be proud of what you have achieved in the school, because we can always learn. You understand? Even from people who don't have that piece of paper. Nobody likes to be told they have just been a pop in a system, fulfilling a empty space and becoming that space. Not asking questions, but just doing what there's being told. Okay? Good. We are living in a world today too where a lot is being said about false news. So that is very much indicating too that our system have a failure now, that that subject can actually appear in our time today. False news. So we are being feeded maybe with false news on the net, in the television, maybe everywhere, without really knowing about it. So, but false news can be many things on how it's being put up. So always only take what you can use and ignore the rest. That's just my advice about information. Even what I'm telling you today, take what you can use and ignore the rest. I'm saying back to the reason. So if something, if something inside of me is making me thinking in a whole other level because of something I have passed from my generation, where I came from, into me this day today, if that is making me thinking different, and they don't like me to think in a certain way because they just want me to fill an empty space. But now I'm thinking in this direction and I'm putting questions up. So now they definitely don't want me to have it because I can inspire under others, sorry, I can inspire other people to thinking different and putting the question up about everything. And people don't like that because they want to have meaning in life. They want not to be told that they are a fool and they are stupid for what they believe in and what they're doing every day. So, of course, they will hate a man like me. Of course, can you blame them? If they've done it in 10 years, 20 years? Oh, maybe they have stopped working today because they are too old. Of course, they don't like that somebody is telling them that whole their life has been a joke, you understand? So, you know my situation and you know where I'm standing today. So they definitely want their reason of corruption against my ass, to have a reason to put a war over my person. That's where we are. Now the lies can appear because that's something they will work on. Their lies to infect me with their medicine. Because we are not sharing the same opinion about that. Because some live in this country, but some is from that country. You understand? So we don't share the same opinion. And now I am the enemy inside the enemy's country. And now the whole system want to force me to become ordinary like everybody else. Because we have voted in. That's their rules in what we have voted in. So of course you will put a finger up to your head next time I see you. Of course. You don't like to be told that you are a fool and you are a joke for what you have done in whole your life and what you believe in. Just a pup, ignorant. Don't put the right questions up. Just taking every class that they're telling you that you shall take. Just listen to every bullshit that they told you that you have to obey, to listen to, or else you will not get your paper. Even if you don't share the same opinion or opinion about a subject that they cannot prove, but then want to force you to believe that's how it is. So, of course, they want their reason. I have suddenly become an enemy inside their own country, or have their country move over our country. And now we cannot live side by side because now we have been overtaken about something maybe we have been lied for and then voted in. A truth they don't tell us about the war, that they just want to make the world much easier for them to live. So they just want to make everybody to become pups and saying, yes, okay, yes, yes, I will do that, okay. Not asking the questions. Not have a mind that's different from everybody else because of being blessed and nearly becoming a cyborg. A truth, an untold truth that they don't want people to be aware of what it really means, what everything really means. Because if they should tell them about that, yeah, then about the past and blah, 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 and I could tell you that again. So now we have an army force inside our country over our population. And people like me is not allowed to have our freedom. So now the corruption comes. And how can they put this corruption out? They've closed whole your life down, so you actually don't have a life today. And that is because of them. because they don't want to allow you to passing this on to the next generation, because then you just have the same problem once again. You understand what I mean? So they definitely want to conquer you and take it away from you. So there's not coming more problems out of it. I'm sorry out there. Have you get the vaccine? Ah, of course, you believe on everything. You have not studied nothing about nothing, maybe. So here now the corruption comes, and the corruption comes from people who is close to you. The corruption comes from people who is watching your ass. That means people, for example, who's sitting over the cameras, people who is aware over what people there's coming in some certain places. So that's where the corruption come from. That part of our society. Like the star says, that I shall give it up, and I shall first give it up before I can receive their love. Isn't it a nice world to live in, huh? Full of lies. Being threatened in your own door to make an excuse that the police can come and pick you up and don't want to listen to what you have to say. And of course, they believe on the person who is threatened in your door. Of course, they believe on that person, even if the person have knocked you on your head earlier, and there is hospitals pay on it. So of course they believe on that person, because you understand they have higher security over people they are registering like mental sick. And you know how the police is in cooperation with the security today. So because you don't wanna be pushed around by nobody, no Englishman, no American, no Russian or Swedish or Danish fuck, or Dutch or France or Irish or where the fuck they are from, and I don't really care anymore. Or Poland or Litauen or Bulgarian or Schweiz or where the fuck they are from. But yes, be threatening your own door and then telling the police that you have threatened somebody. And the neighbors around is so much aware over what there's going on, so they are in cooperation with each other. So if the police is asking the other neighbors, of course they will say the opposite than what actually really happens. And that's where the organized corruption in our own society is appearing against people from the other country inside our own country. Not telling the people the truth. And because not telling them the truth, the corruption appears inside the police, inside our state, inside the politics, who's making the politic inside this shit country. Maybe being forced from what we are voting. So you can walk on the streets and you can be threatened. And when you can prove yourself, what they tried to achieve was not a success. But now suddenly it is a very big failure because now the evidence is there against their own ass on what they tried to achieve. They tried to achieve to force you in so you can be vaccinated, and they can give you pill so they can shut your mouth up. So you're not making other people aware over what's really going on here. So you understand? You shall be a danger for other people or yourself before they can actually force your ass on a mental institute. Now you can prove that you have not been in danger for other people or yourself because the people you actually is being confronted with a kind of acting is from the surveillance, the security who's sitting everywhere in our country. There's actually a military force. So you know you are not really like in a danger. Because that's what they do. You understand? That's how they're forcing their corruption out with their acting. Now it was a failure, and now there's coming evidence against their own ass. See, that's one of the cases too why they want to keep people isolated. Because if they are living alone, they don't have somebody who can witnesses and actually confirm what they are saying. So when they keep people isolated, they can use a force of a love on a corrupt way because you don't have nobody to witness to your state of what you're saying. And lucky we are today to have a mobile phone with a little camera in it that maybe just a little bit can confirm that your story is the truth and what they are actually a witness to is a lie. So, of course, when you're being threatened on the street and attacked, of course, the police will say that there's nothing in it. They can nothing do about it. Because now there's a lot of witnesses. They have already planned this so they can stand around the police and witness against my ass. You understand? But their witness is a failure. Definitely, if the evidence from a recording appears and actually proving all of them wrong, then the police have to understand that there is a conspiring against my ass. But see, you understand The police already know all about why they are doing this. So they will accepting their story. And that's why they will definitely say there's no case, and they will not make a case out of it against the people who is actually the reason that tried to put me on a mental institute. So they will drop it, and they will drop it because they know it's based on a corrupt uh, witnesses. This is not the first case. There have been many cases because maybe they did not have a success on the hospital, and maybe it's only for a time. So that's why you shall be fit up every fucking year that they shall do this against your ass. You hear what I'm saying? You shall be fit up to accepting a corrupt system inside our own country, pulling this kind of tricks and force over your ass just to forcing you in somewhere where you should not be. Because you are right and they are wrong. Their story is corrupted. They are witnesses false. But they have kept you living alone. So, in all those years, so you don't really have nobody who actually can confirm your story. And then I have to ask you: should you be polite over for some assholes who's living next door to you? Shall you be polite for some a force like that? Should you? Huh? Who want to force you into some other country's sickness? Huh? Shall you be polite for people who want to push you around like that? Huh? Who want to force you together with Muslims or some other kind of bullshit? And you know the reason. Shall you be a polite and friendly person, huh? When everybody is sneaking behind your back and everybody knows what the fuck there's going on? Shall you be polite, huh? Shall you? Shall you be polite for some assholes like that, huh? Women's that's pulling down in their skirt when they see you, or pushing around their nose like you are smelling, or putting a finger up to their head like you are crazy. Shall you be polite? Huh? So now everybody is doing something. You know what the laws say. If somebody hit you, you can hit again. So if somebody do something to you like that, you can say something back to them. But see, that's just making you to the crazy person because you're not a famous star or some famous person, because you understand the whole system did not want to interview you, and they did not want to recognize that you are a famous person and a star. They did not want to recognize you. You understand? So, of course, you're not famous, even if everybody knows you. And then even people will say, but you are known for the wrong thing. No, those who did not want to recognize you want you to be known for a wrong thing. See, I have to say this before I end this. My success is when they fail. So if I'm a failure, I get success because then they don't have success with what they want to wish from my life, that they have ruined whole my life to. So I get success if I am a failure, because then I'm winning over those assholes who have ruined my life, who want some certain thing out of my person. So now you know they have killed my ass, taking my dreams away to their sickness. And if I have a kind of a passion with the information I'm sitting with this day to day, I'm not crazy for that one. But if it's not allowed what I'm doing, then they can just say to me that I shall take it off. But now it's maybe allowed what I'm doing, so they will not do that. Instead, they will say I'm crazy. So, welcome to this sickness who is sitting over our country. I want to know what sickness this is. Is it from England? Is it from Sweden? Is it from United States or Russia? Or is it France? I know what I can see down here. Can you have a great afternoon out there? Because I will try to have a great afternoon. And that's just how it is every day. I will try to have a great afternoon or day. Now I shall be feed it up and put it up with all your bullshit when I meet people out there. And I know exactly where they are from. And I know what people it is that is doing this shit to me. And we don't share the same opinion, okay? So I'm very glad that you're making me aware over what part you are, okay? So thanks a lot. Good night.